Just take a listen to this engine sound. Doesn't that sound amazing? And with that, welcome back to HD Racing, to the Quick Look series, where today we are going to take a look at another new car that's just come out for the GT series for multiplayer, and that's this 2018 Mercedes-AMG GT3. And we're going to find out if this car just sounds good, or if it can back that up by good performance and handling as well. And like with the McLaren last week, we're gonna take a look at a race first. And afterwards, I'm gonna show you a Hotlap comparison with the stock tune. And afterwards, I also got a tuned Hotlap for you. And I'm gonna show you the tune in detail also afterwards. But for now, let's get started in the race here at Indianapolis at night. Qualified in P7, so not all that great, and I'm in the middle of the field, which is always a little bit scary, especially for a T1 like this. So I decide, okay, let's just try to take it careful, brake enough, but just try to go around all the way the outside, and some guy goes through me, another guy spins in front, and I barely manage to avoid him. And another guy rejoins the track right in front of me, and I bump into his back as well. But we survived. So far, we survived, and that is all that counts for a start like this, especially if you qualify in the midfield. And I was happy with this. Even though we are back one place, we are now in P8, it doesn't matter. It's a medium length race, so there's gonna be plenty of opportunity to catch up and also overtake people. I think about going on the inside of the guy in front here, but I think better of it. I'm like, okay, it's first lap, let's just take it easy. We are lucky that we survived this. There will be opportunities, as I said. And well, we're gonna see in this race how well we can do, and yeah, what this Mercedes-AMG performs like. I gotta say that like with the McLaren last week, the Mercedes-AMG GT3 is a car pass car, so you can only get that from the car pass if you've bought that. But I also was told by a viewer in the last video that you can buy the car separately if you want that. It's not all that expensive then. I think like around $3 he said. I didn't confirm because I have the car pass, but you can apparently also buy these cars separately, just as a heads up. But yeah, I got the car from Car Pass since I bought the premium edition, and well, if you have that, then you will also just get the car for free. Well, not for free, because you have bought the premium edition or the Car Pass, but you won't have to buy it with credits, is what I meant to say here. Here you could see starting the second lap, the Porsche really dives me and then is very slow because he's fighting with the Mercedes. He was also very slow, and I had to just take avoiding action here, and I had to cut that well, chicane a little bit, and that meant that I of course get a penalty, even though there was really nothing else I could have done other than just slow down and stay behind these guys, which I really didn't want to do. I mean, fair play, I guess, but was a little bit frustrating. The Porsche again overtakes me. I'm like, okay, maybe this guy is just faster, let's just let him go, and yeah, go from there. And the Mercedes definitely did fall back here. And then the Porsche, like, overtaking me 2 times and then just goes wide onto the grass, and that means for now we are gonna leave him behind again. And that means we are back in P7 where we started. So from this point on, let's just try and see what we can do. One thing I want to say, as I have you right now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet and you want to see more content like this and you enjoy this, feel free to subscribe. It would really mean a lot and help the channel out quite a bit. And while you're at it, if you could like the video as well, that would also really help it to reach more people. And yeah, with the McLaren video, it seemed like you really enjoyed this kind of style, so I'm doing the same for the Mercedes this time. And yeah, I really hope that you like this format and that you get something out of this. And yeah, we're gonna see how well I can do. I can tell you that it's gonna go great in some places and not so great in others. So we're gonna have some stuff coming up here in this race for sure. And also stay tuned for the tuning that I also did for this car, which I think addressed some of the issues that I had with this car. And well, let's talk about what this car is like. So right off the get-go, I felt like, okay, this car it sounds nice. That's like a big thing. The visibility is nice, also amazing. Always like 2 boxes that can be checked where you're like, okay, that's a good start. And then as I was driving it, it felt pretty okay, but I had immediately some issues. By the way, we're gonna jump ahead in this race a little bit here since nothing major happens. And I was able to catch up to the guys in front a little bit, and we did overtake one guy, but I think that might be because of a pit. But yeah, the car had some problems, especially I would say on braking, but on turning, on corner turning, it sometimes was way too loose for me. You had to be really careful to not lose the rear end when you're going into a turn and doing it like on a good pace and just trying to take as much speed as possible. And that gets exacerbated if you just go over curbs. And that for me was one major pain point that I had with this car. For some reason it just doesn't take curbs very well. I was expecting this to be very good in this, since I was used to the car from Assetto Corsa Competizione, where it's one of the best cars to go over curbs. It sometimes, on some tracks, can just ignore curbs. As I tried to go around the outside here of this other Mercedes, I don't know if he didn't see me or if he just couldn't do anything anymore. He pushes me wide a little and I get an off track for this. I don't know. The penalty system sometimes, I don't want to get into that right now. But yeah, I was expecting this car to do quite well on curves, but it was quite the opposite. On this track, I think it was fine, but I also did a race at Road America, and there the car was just struggling. Like every time I went onto a curb, it just was trying to get away from me. It was really fighting me, and that is something that I really wanted to dial out with tuning. And I think I managed to do that at least a little bit. But with stock tune, you can expect the car to be a little bit unstable over curbs and while going into corners. You can see here sometimes just struggling on the brakes, and well, also on throttle it can be sometimes a little bit oversteery, but I think that part is okay. A little bit of rotation there is okay, and you can almost always control it quite well. But yeah, going into corners definitely felt like a little bit of a struggle at some points. So yeah, that's the basics what I noticed from driving the car from the very beginning. As I here decide, oh wait, I need to go to the pit line, did decide that a little bit late, or did notice a little late that I'm already in lap number 6, so it's about time to get fresh tires. And well, we're gonna take mediums once again. As you can see, my mediums now are pretty much at the point where they're degrading quite a lot. So yeah, not taking fuel. I just did take enough fuel in the beginning. I'm still not quite sure if that's the right call, or if you should refuel and just not take as much in the beginning. Something that I gotta figure out. Maybe some of you have tried that already and can let us know in the comments. That would be really helpful. But yeah, I just did take enough fuel for the whole race and just did take fresh tires for this pit stop. Did lose out a little bit to the guy in front. That's again something I'm not quite sure about. Also, this pit exit is quite weird, have to say. I don't know, these pit exits, I was really struggling to get going here, and I wasn't really sure when the game would hand me back control. Well, as I said, pit exits sometimes in this game feel really weird, but well, we are still in P6 and there are at least 1 or 2 people in front who haven't pitted yet, so I think we are doing okay. And well, I'm just trying to get back to the Mercedes in front, who was also pretty much on the same pace as me, but I think I was a little bit faster, at least from how I was able to catch up. And we're gonna jump ahead a little bit once again, and we are now in lap number 9, and I did catch up quite a bit, and well, just trying to now find an opportunity to pass this guy. But we also have another guy that did catch up to us. I think he did come out of the pits and he did pit quite late, so he might be on soft tires maybe. I'm not 100% sure on this, but he was definitely catching up quite quickly. And well, here not really an opportunity for me to pass. trying to go for the inside here, but I was always thinking about, okay, just brake early enough. You never know if this guy is gonna leave you the space on the inside. So I did back out, and well, luckily nothing happened here, and he did leave me space. And then I outbraked myself here a little bit, get one wheel on the grass, and that immediately sends me around. I mean, this can happen in other cars as well, but I feel like in this one it was even worse. Then the guys catching up apparently don't see the car that's almost stationary on the track and just bump into me like that. I don't know, like, sometimes you can't avoid stuff, but I feel like they should have seen me there and maybe should have been able to avoid me. I don't know, I was struggling to get the car back under control, and well, didn't manage to do that in time. That means that we are now actually back in P8, and I was trying to catch back up to the guys that did overtake me here, but in the end didn't manage to do so. So sadly, as I said before, some stuff goes great and some stuff just doesn't. And just one wheel on the grass and it just ruined the rest of the race here. It happens, and I don't think it's the fault of the car, or like at least not fully, but I think that the car definitely can do with a little bit of tuning to, well, get rid of this twitchiness, unstableness that you get over other surfaces, be that curbs or just, well, hitting the grass a little bit. As I said, maybe that would have happened in another car as well, but I felt like the Mercedes was definitely a car that is a little bit twitchy and hard to control sometimes. But yeah, we're gonna take a look at that afterwards. But first, let's take a look at the Hotlap in the stock car. So no tuning done to this one, and we're gonna see if we can keep up with the Audi that is our benchmark here on Barcelona. And well, for this first corner, doing okay. Struggling a little bit here to get the car around the corner, but I think it's good. One thing that I forgot to mention before, handling wise, apart from the fact that it sometimes is a little oversteer on corner entry, it is a very well behaved car otherwise, like especially on corner exit and just mid corner. It feels like it rotates just the right amount, and well, you can get the car around the corner quite nicely. Like overall, I would say there are cars that handle better, but like from the get-go in its stock tune, the car does handle kind of good. It's just that the little quirks that it has meant that I was not able to be as consistent as I wanted to be. And also, as you're gonna see in this lap, I also actually wasn't able to go as fast as I thought I would be. As I said, the car feels like it rotates nicely, and also the speed didn't feel bad, but overall I was struggling to get this car into the times that I would expect from this. Just as a reminder, cars that are just basically good to decent, middle of the road cars like the Corvette C8, like the McLaren, like the BMW M8, all can do around 144.7 or 8. Or I can do that in this car on this track. With this car, with the Mercedes, I was struggling to get there, and I actually wasn't able. I was barely able to do this lap time at 144.887. So I was like, okay, I need to do something with tuning here. For some reason, I can't get the lap time out of this car that I want and that I would expect it to get. And I did quite a lot of experimentation of what to do, and then came up with a tune that you are now able to see the lap here. And what I did was, one, I did make the car softer in terms of springs, because I wanted to get rid of this behavior that it was so unstable over curbs, and that definitely did help. And I also wanted to get rid of the excessive oversteer going into corners and on braking. I still wanted rotation, of course, but I wanted to get rid of having to fight the car while going into a corner, which was definitely the case sometimes. And yeah, also just tried to get the car to be overall a little bit more stable, and at the same time get more lap time out of this. And as I said, did experiment quite a bit, but in the end I think I came up with a tune that is quite nice. It drives way better, in my opinion. At least I can handle it way better. And in the end, it was more consistent and faster, as you're gonna be able to see. Already you can see my best lap in this, and I only done 6 laps before this. I was able to do a better lap with a 144.7. But you're gonna be able to see I'm gonna be quite a lot quicker in this lap. And well, that is due to how I've set up the car. And I'm gonna show you, of course, after this lap, the whole tune, and you will be able to just pause on any screen and take a look what I did. As I said, did some things with the springs, just the general stuff that is in my guide that I will also link in the end, if you haven't seen that yet, my general tuning guide, the tuning basics. But I also did take a look at the suspension geometry as well. And you can see here 144.393. I think I could have been a little bit faster still, but yeah, didn't manage to replicate that all that well. But overall, I think a good lap. And here you can see the tune for the car. And yeah, I hope that you do get something out of this if you want to try this car. As I said, stock, it is nice, but it has some problems, and I hope that with these tuning ideas, you don't have to copy the whole thing, but if you have some struggles, then definitely take a look at some of the sections here and try to adjust, maybe based on the values that I did take here. But yeah, I hope that this helps you out and that you enjoyed the video, and yeah, that you what you were able to see with a Mercedes. And yeah, let me know what you think about the car. Have you tried it yourself, and what do you think? And also, what do you think of the engine sound? As I said, I quite like it, and I think it sounds quite amazing, but maybe you have a different opinion about this and think it just doesn't sound like the real thing, which might be the case. But anyway, I just want to say once again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet and yeah, you're enjoying this content, please feel free to do so. It really helps the channel out. But that is it from me for this video. I've been HD Racing. Thanks a lot for watching.